Hey Grand Park, how are you today? Welcome to your Yoga Ala retreat. Today I want to focus on connection. So the Yoga Sutras talk a lot about how everything is connected, that it's all energy, that it's all consciousness, that my suffering is wrapped up in your suffering is wrapped up in my suffering. And I think, I don't want to speak for you, but I know I'm feeling very isolated right now. Sometimes I forget in my little small world that we're all going through something really great together. And so today I want us to focus on remembering that even though we're all practicing in our own spaces, that we're still doing this together as a community. And I'm going to just kind of keep reminding us to feel our connection to the earth today, to feel our connection to what's happening in the body. I really think that helps with presence. I think that helps with those feelings of isolation. And so we'll see how it goes today. So let's come to find a tall seat. Go ahead and close your eyes. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Rest your palms down somewhere on the thighs. Start to notice your breath in your body. Start to notice your body in space. So noticing the sit bones connecting to earth. Maybe noticing the palms touching the thighs. Maybe noticing whatever the air feels like around you. Noticing the sounds that are around you, both in your space and maybe outside your space. And I want us all to really feel our connection to each other. So we're all sitting here, we're all breathing here. Maybe even imagining we're in the park, sitting side by side doing this, but it's just a little farther away than we're used to. And we're going to really, really tune in to the element of sound here. So we're going to come into a brief listening meditation. This is really powerful in my experience to make me feel more connected to the moment, to myself, to other things, other people, other experiences. So with your eyes closed, really start to tune in to yourself to start. So listening inward, maybe feeling and hearing the sound of your own breath. Maybe listening to the sound of your own heart. So what emotion is in your heart right now? Really owning it, breathing into it, experiencing it, inviting it here. And from here, can you start to take your experience of listening a little bit farther outside yourself? So in the room you are in, do you hear a clock ticking? Do you hear someone talking? Just start to listen to your immediate external space. Allow those sounds to connect you to self, to feel that idea of everything maybe being connected as one. Maybe starting to hear a little bit farther out. So maybe depending on the space that you're in. If there are other rooms, if there are other people, can you start to hear a little bit farther outside the room that you're in? And again, allow those sounds to make you feel a connection to the moment, to yourself, to those sounds. From here, start to expand your listening so that it goes outside your space. So what can you hear outside? Are there birds? Are there helicopters? Are there car sounds? Even if they're sounds that we might identify as annoyances, can you use those sounds to connect you to the moment, to your body, to yourself, to the experience of all things? And then for an extra challenge, what can you hear that's beyond what you can hear? I know this sounds a little heady. What is the sound of the world, the universe, maybe even our country right now? Can you hear it? And can you bring it into your experience, acknowledging it as all of our experiences? From here, start to bring your focus back to yourself. If you've gone far outside yourself, maybe even imagine holding that external space as you're holding the internal space. Feeling both small and large. Go ahead and flutter your eyes open. Start to bring back in your visual sense of space, maybe coming into a bit of a soft focus. Really nice. From here, let's just soften into our neck. So bow your chin into your chest. Send your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe even imagine you have a pair of hands resting on your shoulders to draw your shoulders away from your ears. And then let's take our left ear to our left shoulder. Bow your chin into your chest. Your right ear to your right shoulder. Bowing your chin into your chest. One more time each side. Left ear, left shoulder. Chin into chest, right ear, right shoulder, chin into chest. Really nice. Let's take our chin to stack normally. Find a little interlace behind your spine and then send your interlace away. Puff up your chest. Just look up slightly. If this is too much, you can grab opposite elbows. Find an expansion across your heart, maybe even beam out some love, some kindness, some awareness to other people in this class right now. Feeling our connection as we're about to start breathing and moving together. From here, go ahead and release, and we'll start our movement standing today. So find yourself in a comfortable stand. So feet stacked underneath your hips, hands come out to your side, shoulders away from ears. Heart raised slightly, shoulders melting down and away from your ears. Let your exhale fall out. And then inhale, we all breathe, arms flow up. We're all taking breaths together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to a forward fold. You can bend your knees as much as you need. Inhale, rise your arms tall. And then exhale, draw your hands to your heart. One more time like that. We all inhale, arms up. Exhale, we fold in half. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold the self in half. Inhale, rise yourself up. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. So we're gonna wake up the body with some tapping. This is, in my experience, a really nice way to just kind of remind myself of my body, to just kind of feel a little bit more alive. So you're gonna make a little peace finger with your right hand. And then you're just gonna start to tap. You can make 2 peace fingers actually to start. So you're gonna just start to tap into your feet. And of course, we don't wanna beat ourselves up, but kind of a medium weight of tapping. So it has to be firm enough to feel it, but we don't wanna, hit ourselves. Up the shins, onto the sides of the legs. You can also gently use your fists inside your calves, slightly across the knees, the backs of the knees. Start to roll up, tap your thighs, tap the sides, the backs, tap your booty, tap across your pelvis, across your belly, up your sides to the low back. And then this is where you're probably going to need one hand. So we'll start to tap up the left arm, tap across your chest, down the right arm, across your heart, gently across your throat and the back of the neck, down the shoulders, across your jaw, across your cheeks, your lips, your nose, underneath your eyes. Close your eyes, tap across your eyelids, underneath your eyes, across your forehead. Let's do our ears, the back of the neck, up the top of the head. And then draw your hands to your sides. Close your eyes. Feel your body maybe in a little bit of humming, a little buzzing. Feel the energy coming in, swirling through. And then open your eyes, really glue your feet to the earth, and we're just gonna kind of sway side to side. So feet are nice and firm down on the earth. You can take big sways, you can take little baby sways, you can really get in there with your arms or just have the arms dangling at the sides. And then let's all take our arms up and overhead, just kind of swaying your arms around. This is like one of those like car wash guys, right? One of those inflatables. Okay, let's take the arms, shake them out a little bit. Maybe shake your shoulders up and down a few times. And then let's find our mountain pose. So standing tall in ourselves. Really nice. Let's sink our hips. So finding our first chair pose. So hips sink back. Make sure you can see your toes. If you can't see your toes, send your hips back even further. Draw your heart up, settle your shoulders away from your ears. And then we'll exhale to a forward fold. Walk your hands forward, walk your feet back. We'll find ourselves in downward facing dog. So listen to the backs of the legs, bend your knees, press the weight forward into your knuckles, the heels are reaching down, the hips are reaching up, the heart is reaching back for the thighs, the head is released. So we're not holding the head up, the head is released. And then from here, take a couple breaths into your body. And then let's tap our knees down to the earth, wrists stack underneath the shoulders, tops of the feet release. And let's come in for a few rounds of cat-cow. So let your exhale fall out. Together we breathe, inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, press into your knuckles, round in your upper back. So really feel your hands, your knees, the tops of your feet connected to earth. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Last one, inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Find your neutral spine. Keep your knees where they are. Let's walk the hands out into a V overhead. And then tap some part of your head down on the earth. So maybe the forehead, maybe the top of your head. You can always put something underneath if you can't quite reach. So we can always put a blanket, a towel, a book. If you have a yoga block, you could put a yoga block. Take a couple really full, slow, deep breaths into your upper back. Remembering that we're all here doing this together, doing some awareness work together, connecting as a community. It's so beautiful. From here, tuck your toes, send your hips up and back. We're back in our downward facing dog. And then from here, look forward to your hands. Step your right foot where your right hand is. Spin your back foot to a 45-degree angle. Right knee is stacked over your right ankle. Press down into your feet, especially the outer edge of your back foot. And then rise yourself up on an inhale, warrior one. Right hips reaching back, shoulders settling down. If you feel like you're a little scrunched, you could take your right foot out to the right to create some more space for your hips. Steady your gaze on one point. And then feel the connection of the earth to this pose. So really feel your feet grounded down and feel yourself rising up from the earth. Feel your shoulders settling down. The heart is rising to the sky. Maybe you even look up slightly. On your exhale, hands come down to frame the right foot. Right foot steps back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, left foot steps for that left hand. Back foot spins flat. Really glue your feet down to the earth. So let that be your stability. Press especially into the outer edge of your back right foot. And then from the earth, grow yourself up on your inhale, warrior one. So left hip is reaching back, outer edge of back foot is pressing down, gaze is on one point. And again, on this side, if you don't feel like you have enough space, take your left foot out. Find your breath here. Move the breath through. On your exhale, take your hands down to the earth. And then left foot steps back, downward facing dog. We're going to add a little bit onto that. Right foot steps for right hand, back foot spins flat. We find our warrior one. And then let's open up to our warrior two. So the foot's going to come in so that you have a heel to arch alignment. So the heel of the right foot is in line with the arch of your back foot. Arms come to spread out from your shoulders. Sink your hips, gaze over your right middle finger. Feel the stability of your feet. And then with the support of the feet, allow yourself to be in the pose. If you're withholding breath, allow the breath to be a part of the pose. So connecting the breath with the pose. On your exhale, hands come down to frame right foot. Right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Next, inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat. From your feet, press yourself up, warrior one. Take a few breaths to establish this pose. And then we'll open it up, our warrior two. So we have the heel of the front foot in line with the arch of the back foot. Arms are out from the shoulders. Shoulders are away from your ears. Nice big sink of your left thigh. Gazing over your left middle finger. Connect the breath to the pose. So notice if you're holding breath, can you let the breath be a part of this experience to help you, to support you, to connect you to your body? On your exhale, hands come down, left foot steps back, downward facing dog. So we're going to do both those poses again, and we're going to add one more pose to them. Next, inhale, right foot steps, back foot spins flat. Find your warrior one. So hips facing forward, arms reaching up over the shoulders. If that's too much, you can always put your hands on your hips. Nice big sink of your right hip. Let's open up, warrior two, heel to arch alignment, big sink of your right thigh, arms extending out from your shoulders. Let your breath connect to the shape. And then left arm comes down, right arm reaches up. Reverse warrior. So we'll be here for a few breaths. Maybe you look up, maybe you look at eye level. So nothing really changed in the legs. We're just adding a little bit of a back bend to add a little side body stretch. On your inhale, take your hands down to frame your right foot. Right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Next, inhale, left foot steps between the hands, back foot spins flat. Warrior one here, settle in, establish your feet grounding down. And then open yourself up, warrior two. So hips facing over to the right. We're gazing over the left middle finger. How's your breath? How's your stability? So use the support of the floor underneath your feet. Reverse warrior on your inhale. Right arm comes down, left arm reaches up. Just finding some space in your left side body, maybe gazing up or at eye level. From here, we're going to extend the left leg straight. We're coming into a forward fold. So let the left toes come in. Heels are slightly out. And then find yourself in a fold. So maybe hands down to the earth. Maybe the hands are supported on books or blanket. You can also just grab opposite elbows if the stability is okay. Let your head go here. Let your feet do the work. So press into the outer edges of the feet especially. Add a little bit of bend to your knees. Maybe close your eyes here and let yourself connect to the experience of this pose. Soften into your breath. Make sure the breath is flowing through. So connect your breath to your experience. If your eyes are closed, open them. We'll heel toe the feet in just a little bit wider than the hips. This time the toes are going to face out. And then we're sitting into our yogi squat. So all kinds of options if this isn't right for you. So if the soles of the feet aren't down, you could always put a block, a blanket, a book, something underneath your heels to bring the earth closer to you. So we really want our feet grounded in this pose. You could also come to sit on something. So you could sit on a book, a blanket to support yourself here. Wherever you are, elbows are gently laying in between or on the other side of the knees. Rise your heart. Find your tall spine. Really allow yourself to ground. Let the hips come down. Let the feet support you. And then rise your heart up from the support of this pose. Let the breath connect through. Take your hands behind you, sit down, and then we'll take the soles of the feet together and the knees come wide. So if this is not comfortable, you can always put something underneath the outsides of your thighs. We want the knees to feel like they can rest open. So if you're gripping in your groin because you don't have enough opening, you could always put something underneath the backs of your thighs and be patient as the body starts to open. You could also take your hands behind your hips if this is enough for you. If you're like, I don't feel anything, then start to walk yourself forward to any amount where you start to feel an opening or maybe even a little resistance in the inner thighs. We don't want to take it too far. We want to find that sweet spot where we can allow breath to flow through to cause some opening in those inner thighs. So here I want you to notice what is touching earth. So the outsides of the feet, the bottom, maybe the hands, and see if you can let all that rest on the earth. Maybe close your eyes. Remember, we're all doing this together. Allow the breath to move through. Allow opening to happen, even if it's only the smallest little smidge of opening. From here, walk yourself up. Let's take the feet slightly out from the hips so we have more of a diamond shape. Take your hands somewhere, maybe below your knees, maybe down on your shins or your ankles. Find a tall spine and then start to walk yourself out here. So we're getting into the outer hips here. Doesn't have to be a big movement to feel a lot. So listen to your body. Find that spot again where you feel a little bit of restriction, but you can still move breath through to create some kind of an opening or release. And then here I invite you to notice what is touching earth. So the backs of maybe the sides of the feet, your bottom, See if you, instead of holding up in those areas, can you really let your hips release down to earth? Can you really let the sides of your feet ground you to earth? From here, rise your heart tall, extend both your legs out. So we're in an L pose. If the backs and the hamstrings are super tight, bend your knees as much as you need. You could also come to sit up on a blanket to give your hamstrings more space. So we don't want to create more tension in yoga, right? We want to take care of ourselves and release tension, yeah? Okay. So from here, rise your arms so you have a nice tall spine. And then send your heart for your toes to any amount. So maybe it's just slightly and you tap your hands down. So we're getting into the backs of the legs. Maybe you walk yourself way out. Keep your heart reaching for your toes there, though. So the spine is reaching long and tall. And then here, feel whatever's touching earth, touch earth. So the bottom, the heels, maybe some part of the hands. Maybe the backs of the legs, the thighs, whatever is touching, let it go. Let it ground down. And then really connect with your breath here. See what else you can soften. And then from the earth, rise yourself up. And we'll come to our backs here. So let your low back rest on the earth, your mid back, your upper back. Soles of the feet are down, knees are stacked over your ankles. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. We're going to take some breaths together. So I invite you to close your eyes. Remember, we're all doing this together in community. Let your exhale come out. On your inhale, breathe through your nose for 2, 3, 4. Pause at the top. Through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4. Pause, breath out. 2 more times. Inhale, breath for 2, 3, 4. Pause at top. Through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4. Pause, breath out. Through your nose, inhale for 2, 3, 4. Pause at top. Through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4. Pause, breath out. And then allow breath to come back in. Really let yourself feel the way your body wants to breathe right now. Connect to that feeling. From here, stack your knees so that they're up over the hips. Take your hands on tops of your kneecaps. Really ground your low back into the earth, and we'll make some circles here. So circling your knees in one direction. Let this be a little massage, a little relief for your low back. Circle your knees in the other direction. And then come back back to center. Arms either come wide out to the sides like a T, or arms up like a cactus with the elbows bent and the wrists stacked above. And we'll take our spinal twist. So knees come up and over towards the right shoulder. And then just allow your body to twist however it wants. So closing your eyes, maybe deepening the breath a little bit. Feeling whatever is touching earth, being held up by earth. Take your knees back to center, and then knees come up and over to the left. So again, take up space, let your body kind of fall open in your twist. Deepen your breath. Take your knees back to center and then roll over to one side. Make your little shelf with your inner arm. And then press yourself up. We're going to end class today in child's pose before we rest. So we'll take the knees as wide as your mat if you have one. If not, a little wider than your hips. Sink your hips down for your heels. If the hips don't reach the heels, you could put something underneath your hips. So you could put a blanket, a pillow. We want to feel the hips connecting to something. And then allow yourself to fall forward. The arms can either be up and overhead or down by your feet. If your forehead doesn't touch something, go ahead and stack your fists or put a pillow or a book underneath your forehead. So the forehead can really rest down. And then see if you're holding the body up in any way. See if you can really let yourself release down. So let everything be soft. Let your breath fill into your low back, your mid back. Nice, deep, full breaths. Close your eyes. And here, just notice what is touching earth. Really let it sink down into earth. Together we'll take 2 breaths. So let's all really breathe together here to feel our connection to one another. So from here, let your breath come out through your nose. Inhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause at top. Through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause at bottom. Through your nose, inhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause at top. Through your nose, exhale for 2, 3, 4. Little pause out. Bring the breath back in, however the breath wants to come back in. rise yourself up and come to find a comfortable position on your back. So allowing your body to rest down in a comfortable way, whatever that means to you. Maybe it might feel nice to stack your knees underneath your hips to support the low back. If you don't need that support, you could come to lie flat on your back. And then closing your eyes, letting the entire back body or whatever's touching earth ground down and be supported and connected to earth. From here, we'll slip off into Shavasana, final rest. So really just giving the weight of your body over to the floor, letting the floor support you here. I'll call us back in about a minute. So from here, just starting to bring back awareness of your breath. And allow that awareness of your breath to connect you really fully to your body, to this moment. Starting to find any small movements with your fingers and your toes. So allowing that to draw you into the awareness of your body, to connect you with the moment. And then eventually rolling over to your right side, making a little pillow for your head with your inner arm. Really feel the earth. And from that space of earth, press yourself up to a seat. Draw your hands in a gesture at your heart. Bow your chin into your chest. Close your eyes. See if you can feel the connection of our community gathered here. Breathing together, being in a practice together. And I really encourage us all this week, this day, however you want to think about it, to remember that I am you, you are me, even the people we don't agree with, we are connected to. They show us parts of ourselves that maybe we sometimes don't want to see. But I'd like to think of it all as a gift, all as one entity. The light in me acknowledges the light in you. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so glad that you are. Be well, yogis. I hope that you're healthy and well. I hope that you are doing okay. And I'm sending you all my love.